Cowabunga, you MontyVersers! We are here to check out the brand new trailer for Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles Mutant Mayhem. And Nicki, I think it's going to be pretty radical.
I'd say pretty radical as well. I thought the first one was really good, so I'm excited to see this one.
Yeah, I'm really excited for this film. I love the animation style. I'm really excited about the cast. Let's jump right into this trailer, guys. Starting it right now.
Can I kick it?
Whoa, the awesome. Trailer for a trailer.
I'm awesome.
Boys, where have you been?
We're just running errands.
That's it?
Look, we're really sorry, Splinter. Some of the guys wanted to get pizza, and I tried to talk them out of it.
You ratted us out.
Don't use that word that way.
I mean, sorry, Dad.
That's a good joke.
Hey, guys, if we weren't monsters that were shunned by society and we could do what we wanted, what would you guys do?
What's
Go to
that?
high school. Maybe get a girlfriend.
Can you imagine that?
Not likely. This is insane. Turtle, mutant, karate teens. I want to know everything about you. Our dad is definitely not a giant rat. It makes me feel like he's a rat.
Police are baffled by the recent crime wave led by Superfly.
Nobody's ever seen his face.
Why?
Because he kills everyone who does.
Whoa.
Cool.
No, not cool.
A bit cool.
Can I kick it?
We pick out Superfly, and then everyone will think we're cool. They'll accept us.
Can I kick it?
This is kind
Making a
of
deal
sad.
tonight under the Brooklyn Bridge.
Can I kick? Whoa. Kick.
What the? Y'all some little tortoises, huh?
I can't believe there are other mutants.
You wanna roll with us? Humans are never gonna like us. So we gonna let the mutants rule the earth.
Peoples, they got to go.
Okay, sort of a twist.
We can't stop him.
We gotta try.
6 in the morning, police at my door.
Can I kick it?
My son, Michelangelo, you have heart. Donatello, you have wisdom. Raphael, you have bravery. And Leonardo, honor.
Enough talk! I dream about fighting every night.
You've got a rage problem, right?
That's not a problem!
Can I kick it?
Dang.
nice.
Oh my god, that was so good.
That end hit really hard. I loved that a lot.
It was so good because I think it not only did it give us a little taste for the Turtles' characterizations better than the first trailer,
Yeah.
it showed off more of that gorgeous animation.
Oh yeah.
And not only that, but we got to see more of the subsidiary side characters a little bit more. We got to hear more of Jackie Chan's Master Splinter, and I think he's going to steal a lot of scenes that he's in because he's a lot
The rat joke.
The rat joke.
Don't use it like that.
Don't use it like that. Like, oh my gosh, that's so funny. We heard more of Edebiri's April O'Neil, who I think is going to be really good in this as well. But she's a star in the making, that one. So she's great. Ice Cube, of course, as Superfly, who I didn't expect to be the main villain in this, but it makes sense.
Yeah, and he sounded great in this. I was going to say, in general, I loved just kind of the charm and the humor that the mutants brought, even if they are going to be a deadly force for them to take on. I love the way that they portrayed kind of still the lightheartedness to show off the tone of the movie.
Yeah, I mean, you had the Paul Rudd, the got to go. He's got to go. I think it's less of... What I really like about the trailer is I think it starts to set up the themes of the movie, and obviously like coming of age and adolescence is a big theme of this because we see the Turtles struggling with things that a lot of us struggle with at their age, like you know,
they don't feel acceptance. I mean, partly because they aren't allowed to.
Yeah, they don't feel like they fit in. They feel isolated and dejected from society. They don't really know their place in the world yet. They feel like they're different from everyone else. And, you know, you have the angel on their shoulders, who's Master Splinter. And then, of course, you have, obviously, the bad influence, which I think is the Mutant Mayhem, the team of mutants that we're going to get. And I think they're they're going to be more of a sympathetic group of villains than the normal villains we have in Turtles, which are more like revenge-driven, like Shredder or the Krang, purely evil. I think that they're going to tell a really lovely story.
Yeah, and I think on the one hand, this is a very commonly used trope when you have protagonists who are outcasts of society for whatever reason, and there's kind of that mindset of they'll never accept you anyway. But I really like what they did with this film. There's a lot of other stuff that kind of breathes originality into that kind of story that we've seen with this.
Yes.
And I think, like, they're also just so endearing. Like, this makes the fact that they're younger even better because... Especially just how sweet Donnie sounds.
I know. How sweet Donnie sounds. How kind of just like innocent Mikey is.
Oh, God.
And how innocent and naive he is to the world. Mm-hmm. I think they're going to be the two younger brothers, and Leo and Raph are going to be like the older brothers. Leo's going to be like the big brother, the narc, the snitch.
Yeah. Who wants the girlfriend?
Yeah, and Raph, of course, is my spirit animal. I dream of fighting every night.
So you also have an anger.
I don't see it like Raph. I don't see it as a problem, okay? But I really like the perspective that this film is taking. As someone who's read the Turtle comics and who's watched most of the Turtles animated series, this is kind of similar in a way to Rise of the TMNT, but it deviates from what I thought I wanted from a Turtles movie, which was more serious, you know, things that harken back to the 90s movie and the original comic book. But this perspective is so fresh, and it's such an interesting way to tell a Turtles film. Because like I said, most of the time in Turtles movies, we have villains that are based off of, you know, anger or revenge or world domination or interdimensional takeovers, whereas this it seems like the way they're setting it up, it's going to be just like a very small story, like almost in a way of like, oh, these are the bad kids in school, you know, like the rough and tumble kids in school, and you know, they're bad influence on you guys. And maybe, who knows, maybe there's gonna be more surprises. We know that there are a couple of villains that haven't been revealed yet. We know that Giancarlo Esposito is playing Baxter Stockman. We know that there's an Utrom in this, played by Maya Rudolph, I think. Let me check the list. I believe, yes, Maya Rudolph is playing Cynthia Utrom, which is the race of Krangs in this movie. But yeah, I'm really excited to see where the story goes.
I'm with you in that. I think it's going to have just a large enough scope. I mean, we saw them kind of like terrorizing the city a little bit. And obviously there's a substantial group of them. But I think you're right in the sense that it's going to be more, a lot of it is going to be interpersonal turmoil that they'll deal with as well.
Yeah.
Because like you said, it's lighthearted, but it also, you could kind of hear like kind of just the despondency as they were talking about wanting to fit in. So I kind of like, there's like a duality to it that I think will work very well.
And it's so refreshing to have a Turtles property, because Rise did this for the majority of its run, where the Turtles don't fight each other. Like a lot of the Turtles properties, especially Leo and Raph, they tend to butt heads a lot of the times.
Yeah.
And that creates the central conflict and emotional beats of the movie. Whereas this, they actually feel like four young brothers all kind of bouncing their personalities off each other. So I really like how at this young age, they don't have that teenage angst and anger and aggression that they're taking out on each other. It seems more like they're trying to kind of find themselves. And I really like that perspective. And I have to, again, shout out Rise, because I think they did a good job of telling that story as well. But I'm really excited to see what the team behind this does. And of course, that gorgeous animation.
Oh, God, yeah. I mean, I feel like we're getting spoiled this year between this and Spider-Verse.
Yeah.
This will hopefully be an overall great year for animation.
Well, yeah, of course. If we're giving roses, we have to give flowers to Spider-Verse for, I think, kicking down the door.
Yeah.
To really they really revolutionized animation to a sense of they showed people what we can do with the medium of animation. And I know that the people in Japan and anime have been doing this for decades now, revolutionizing animation, but here in America, it's still looked down upon a little bit in a lot of ways, and I think Spider-Verse really helped to kick that door open.
Especially in terms of not just like resting on the laurels of the traditional 3D format that a lot of films have been in the last couple of decades after 2D kind of went bust for a little bit. It's nice seeing a little bit more experimentation with those kinds of styles.
Absolutely, 100% agree. I'm all in. I'm excited.
I am too.
I'm buying my ticket the day they come out, and I'm going to be there opening night to see this movie. Nicki, anything else you want to add?
I'm just pumped for this. I have not delved as deep into the lore, but I would happily see this.
All right, guys, I think that's going to do it for us. If you liked the video, make sure to give it a huge thumbs up. If you're new to the channel, subscribe and hit the notification bell to stay up to date on all of our latest content. And until next time, stay versed and cowabunga, dudes.